hours.
Yeah.
That'll be my...
Does the ibuprofen help you keep it from hurting?
Well, it helps with inflammation.
Okay.
So it has acetaminophen in it, so it just kind of helps with...
It helps with the burning, for sure. So when you're getting tattooed, like there's the pain of the needle, but then the skin that just sets there starts to burn, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so that burning sensation that happens after you get tattooed, the ibuprofen kind of helps minimize that. So I don't think it really minimizes the pain of the tattoo, but it minimizes that after burning sensation, for sure.
Got ya.
Yeah.
I should have took a couple of those when you tattooed my ass. That was the worst spot.
Did he put any derm on it, or did he just send you out with saran wrap?
No, saran wrap on my ass. Yeah, there was no derm. There was no derm on my ass.
So when you got your ass tattooed, that was the day that Mickey started as an apprentice, right? Wasn't that it? And Mickey came in, and I was sitting there shaving your ass.
Yes.
And she's like looking at me, and she kind of had this weird look, and I looked at her and I'm like, are you ready to shave hundreds of square feet of grown men's ass, Mickey? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I looked over at Kelly because she was in her bay, and I'm like, baby, how many square feet of grown men's ass do you think you've shaved? And she's like, I don't know, quite a bit. Yeah, no, that was so good.
Maybe not like straight ass. I mean,
Right.
I think I've only tattooed one dude's ass.
You've only tattooed one dude's ass?
Yeah,
Really?
I think so.
Huh.
So you only shaved like 1 square foot?
What dude's ass did you tattoo?
I'm actually trying to think about it, but I think it...
Have you tattooed any?
No, I think
dude's
I
ass?
was thinking about Doug.
Oh.
And that was you too.
Yeah. I don't know if you can say his name on the podcast.
How many asses have you
there.
tattooed?
Like, I guess there's no last
There's
name
no
there.
last name.
Yeah.
Doug, we love you.
I'll leave it out.
How many dudes' asses have I tattooed?
Yeah.
A few. Yeah.
Yeah?
Quite a few. I've spent a lot of time tattooing the ass. The one dude whose butt I tattooed, the very, very first guy, his butt was the first butt that I had ever tattooed. And so when I drew the line on, he was like laying down. And like you want the ink to go down inside the crack of the butt. So then when you stand up, you don't have this white line going down right there.
Yeah.
And so I ended up like drawing the line on there where I'm like, okay, this is the line that I have to tattoo to.
Yeah.
And then I tattooed it. And as I was going by, like I was so close to his butthole that I was afraid my finger was gonna like slip right inside there. And it was intense. I'm like, man, I'm right there. Like this is this is so far into the crack of the butt.
Yeah.
And so
fell in.
Yeah, I'm tattooing away. I go through the whole thing. We get done with it, like that edge of the butt. And I'm like, all right, go ahead and stand up. And he stands up and his butt like plumps out. And I was like, I went like 2 inches farther than I needed to go into the crack of it. Oh. So like the tattoo went all the way around, like right towards the crack of his butt. It was, yeah. But there's no white line. Like when he stands up, like he's never gonna have that. So I achieved what I was going for there, for sure. Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, luckily, by the time I did yours, I had experience. And so then I drew the line on when you were standing up.
I'm grateful.
And then we only tattooed that far into the crack of the butt.
I don't know, because Jeff drew my line in when I was standing up, and in a ton of the pictures that I take,
Yeah.
laying down, so you see like a solid bed, and so I'm like, you're probably gonna have
I have to get back in there.
to further.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a fun spot.
No.
All right. So
Fortunate, really fortunate.
we're going to go ahead and do the elbow.
Yay.
So Kelly's sleeve, we did, I think it was like 150 hours on it the first time, because she was the very first sleeve that I ever tattooed. And then we ended up doing a bunch more on top of it because it was too bright and too colorful. The whole goal of it was to make it bright, which is like a bad goal to have with a tattoo.
Mission accomplished, though.
It looked really bright, but people would look at it and they'd be like, is that a tattoo?
Well, they thought that I had on one of those fake sleeves.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Well, it did. It looked like it. It didn't.
Really?
It didn't have the elements that make a tattoo look
Which is
like a
black.
tattoo.
You need black
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, then we redid some of it, and then I decided to blast over top of it, and then we never make time to do Kelly's tattoo, so this will be great because she gets to get her tattoo done like she always wants. And
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is going on 6 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Process just on this arm.
but it's first full sleeve and then first full sleeve cover up too.
No
on
way.
top of that, yeah. So it's gonna be, but then like she's going for a full body suit, and so then when it's all done, it's gonna be, oh shit, I gotta.
And yeah,
plug
what is
that
the
in.
plan? What are you doing today?
So today we're gonna do just the elbow, and I'm gonna do like one of these cherry blossoms right in here somewhere. I don't know where exactly.
In
yet.
that negative, you're working in that negative space.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and put your elbow up, and get you all.
So next time I'm bringing a pillow.
A pillow?
I thought about it halfway here, and I'm like, oh, I should have grabbed a pillow.
I've got a little pillow in my truck, but it's white. Everybody clashed.
Pillowcases?
Pillowcases?
See.
It's just a little pillow. It's just about that big, like little.
I do. I think you're okay though, baby. It's not. It's not a lot. You're super tough.
I am so tough.
You can definitely handle this,
Oh yeah.
and then some.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and fill in.
The microphone so bad.
We're gonna go ahead and fill in this little part by your elbow here,
We
and we'll
shouldn't-
draw a nice
We shouldn't do anything elaborate.
flower right
Fucking
here.
just-
Blast it.
Nothing elaborate.
Yeah, that's right.
We're doing a really nice, pretty flower right here, so we'll spend extra time like right in this area. But then when it comes to the, we could put a little bud right here.
Fuck you.
Fuck you and your bud.
Okay, we will not put a bud there, and I think that'll be enough. Just this guy right there will be good.
I don't know if you know this or not, but this is like the 4th time we're going over that skin, right?
At least.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, because we did the first tattoo, and then we did the second layer over top of it to try and make the first one look better. Then we did the black over top of it for the line work, and then the black for this shading. And now we're doing the red out, and then there'll probably be one more pass after that.
Yeah. And so usually when people are like, well, at least I only have to tattoo it once, I'm like, fuck, I'm going on what, the 6th time? No fucking bud. Just let's get it over with.
Yeah, but you got to tell them about the whole, like, why you are having it done.
Because I was a supportive wife.
Yes.
And I'm like, here, have some skin.
That was kind of
Awesome.
what happened. It was more like, you're tattooing me or I'm going to go down the street and I'm going to get my sleeve done by someone else.
Oh shit.
Because I knew he'd do it.
Yeah, no, she bulldogged me into it the first time. I was like, no, I'm not good enough because I didn't
gonna
think
say,
I was
were you
good
ready?
enough to do it. No, I wasn't. But she was ready to get tattooed. And so,
No, I was just being manipulative.
So
yeah.
you were the practice canvas.
I knew he wouldn't let me go down the street to get it done anywhere else, so.
yeah. So, now we get to do the cover up, but I'm super happy with it now.
Good.
It's awesome. And then it's going to be a part of her full body. And so having it be like just some simple swirls going up her arm, then it's going to like complement the rest of everything. Where before it was so loud, it took away from it.
Yeah.
Where like your tattoos, there's like loud parts, but then there's calm parts in there. Hers didn't have any of that. Like how your whole lion head is kind of like this big, nice, open spot on your arm right there.
Yeah.
That ends up being something that like creates space. And then it's like, it's a little bit more in your face at the top of it where it goes up into the tribal stuff that's going over top of it. But hers didn't have any of that. It was just loud all the way through. And there was so many different colors. And then it was just too much.
Too busy, too
Yeah, it was
colorful.
just too
Every
busy.
color.
Yeah. So now we get to redo it. And then, so ladies and gentlemen, today we have Mike back in the studio again for
Hello,
the second
everyone.
time.
Hello.
I don't know what camera we're supposed to look at for that, but
Right? It's
he
like
gets to
five
hang
of
out
them.
and have the podcast. We have the wonderful Kelly Bertelson,
Yeah.
who is co-owners of XX Clothing, and I'm the other owner of XX Clothing, and so we're here to do a podcast and talk about some stuff. And
Right on.
I'm a tattoo artist, and Kelly's a tattoo artist, and some of the greatest conversations that we've ever had are in the tattoo studio. And so we decided that we were gonna rebuild a tattoo scenario to make it like more authentic to us for when we do the podcast. And like Mike has been tattooed, how many hours, man, do you have in the chair so
I
far?
lost track. I don't know.
Working
There's a
on
lot,
stuff.
a lot of hours in the chair, but
Yeah.
how many? I don't know. What?
I would say we probably have like at least 10 sessions in so far.
Oh, at least.
right?
Yeah.
So 70
yeah.
hours. You probably
Yeah,
have
that's
like
what I was gonna
70
guess 80,
hours,
but
in
yeah.
80 hours
Yeah.
in the chair. Two full
Yeah.
work weeks getting tattooed.
Yeah.
And so we've got to spend a bunch of time together doing tattoos, and then there's like so much stuff
And
that
he still likes
And it's
us.
been too long, and I'm ready to come back for more.
yeah, he's gonna be
Yeah.
coming back in this year,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be hopefully finishing up a bunch of the front, man. That'd be
Yeah.
like if we could get the whole front and this arm done by the end of the year this year, that'd be awesome.
That's a great goal. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Goal.
But
Do you have anybody who can light the incense and candles?
oh, I can light the incense and the candles.
Right there.
Totally.
Why do I stink?
No, it's just the ambiance.
It's the-
I feel like that totally does make the whole tattooing
I
experience
showered.
more authentic too.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I'm
special
so
occasion.
close to everybody.
But you're right, though. That's the one thing that's missing. Like in the shop, you always have the incense and stuff.
And
going.
yeah, can you light that one over there? But yeah, no, there's totally something about that. Well, and it's cool too because like the incense came from Jeff Gogwe's tattoo shop. Like when we get tattooed over there, he's got incense, and like I had seen him burn incense, and then I went through this whole crazy stint where I was trying to find like the best incense that I could possibly find.
You would
Yeah.
order monster sample packs from like different companies.
Yeah.
You'd stand next to a garbage can and be like, no. no.
You just throw it all away.
Hundreds of dollars of incense away, and I'm like, baby, you can like give that to somebody. He's like, oh, I get it, I guess.
Funny.
But I found the right one.
Right on. You found
And
the
then-
one?
No, then we went over to get tattooed by Jeff, and he lights up an incense, and I'm like, dude, what is that? That smells so much better than anything that I've been burning. And he's like, oh, it's Japanese aloes wood.
Huh.
And so I think it's Nippon Kodo Japanese aloes wood. But
And
it's
this is what we get the pleasure of sniffing
yeah,
today.
it's expensive, but it's like the best incense that I've found by far.
And,
Very cool.
Yeah, there's been times where we're like, if we could take, or if we had to pack like a little bag and get out really quick, like worst case scenario, apocalyptic kind of stuff, what would be in it? And it would be like matches, a rain poncho, emergency blanket, and some incense.
Just in case. We need our zen.
Well, because like if the end of the world came, then we would probably still be trying to tattoo, and I feel like tattooing without the incense just wouldn't be right. So like it has to make it into the bug out bag for sure if the zombies came. Yep, so I'll go through that one flower with white, and then we'll just start hammering in a bunch of red all through your elbow there.
I don't know how much talking I'm going to be doing through all this, by the way, but
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best.
I'm interested to see how much you can talk to.
Yeah, me
this.
too.
It's gonna be good.
No pressure.
Yeah.
I know I lose my ability to talk pretty much when you're
Especially
the
in
middle
those
of-
tough areas, right?
Yeah.
Like it
You're
seems
just
like there's some
breathing.
areas that are good areas, and then there's some areas that are bad areas.
Yeah.
But in those intense areas, it's like, whoa, that's rough.
And then you're just going in with your, what is that? Is it a 5-round shader?
7-round liner for this one.
Same.
Yeah, I think you've probably inflicted more physical pain on me than anyone ever has in my life. Honestly.
You still like me.
Oh hell yeah. Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome. I appreciate that. It's weird
Yes,
though, because I
I'm
don't
coming
like
back for
hurting
more.
people. Like I know some
it's
tattoo
so
artists
weird.
that like hurting people, but I'm totally not one of those people. And so like I've always had a hard time tattooing just for that reason, where it's like, oh man.
Well, no,
I
in
don't
comparison, I
wanna
got to
hurt
say, you've
people.
got a gentle hand. Your apprentice, on the other hand, did not.
She almost had you tapping.
Yeah, yeah.
She-
No, I did tap. I was like, you got to stop for a minute. Like, you're going to have to give me a little break here.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping in right here into this part by the elbow.
Okay.
All right,
Here we go.
here we go.
Well, that was really anticlimactic.
Yeah, no squeal.
No screaming.
It takes a lot to make Kelly scream.
She's a seasoned professional. Is this so?
Yeah.
One of my clients, she's tiny, and she's doing this pretty extensive back piece, and she was sitting there just like a champ, and I'm like pulling these huge thick lines into her design, and she was just like stone cold still, and I'm like, okay, you're awesome.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing? What are you thinking about to be able to sit so well? And she said she had read this book, this Chinese book talking about different techniques and how if you can somehow go through something and not let a face of like pain come over your face, then it doesn't register as pain to the rest of your body.
That's interesting.
And I'm like, what?
That's an interesting thought.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Try it. It's almost like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Or
Okay, well, you can show us by example.
right? Or like smile and then eventually, however long it takes you before you feel happy, I guess. But it'll happen, like the emotion will follow the action. So we'll try it.
Okay.
Nice.
Let me know how that goes.
That's a super, like, I feel like there's a lot to that though, where if you don't fight it, like if you can figure out any way not to fight the pain of the tattoo, then it ends up making it so you do better.
I remember when you told me those things when I was first getting tattooed, and in those first couple sessions, it was like, oh, it's so painful. And you said, don't fight the pain, just relax into it, relax.
Yeah.
Don't tense up. And after you told me that, it helped tremendously.
It's crazy how much it helps. Like that, because I think all my first tattoos, I totally thought through them. And like, I always thought it was like this battle where it's like, oh, going to get tattooed, like going to war. And then when I would get tattooed, like everything would be really tense and I'd tense up and I'd start fighting it. And you exert a lot of energy doing that. Like you can grit your way through stuff. You can like, and like make it through it.
Yep.
But then you use up all your energy. Where like if you just surrender, then you're not really using any energy. But it's hard to surrender, like that mental fortitude to be able to be like, I'm not gonna like clench everything and like squeeze down super tight is really hard to do. But if you can, it makes it all way, way better.
It's crazy though, just thinking about this guy and how much time that one took.
Yeah.
How much time did that
This
take?
was 8 hours.
Oh, damn.
Like right there.
And I was just learning how to tattoo. So like when you tattoo spots like that, it's hard because the skin's so bouncy and it's like bouncing around and
When I was trying to like talk to him to like distract myself, and he was giving me like one word answers like yes, no.
because I'm trying to focus and do a good
you're in
job.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't talk to you right now.
Damn. You've came a long ways.
Dying.
That was when I first started tattooing. Well, and it was, again, when I probably shouldn't have been doing a full sleeve, but she bulldogged me into it. And so then she's like, hey, let's talk. And there was this dude, his name was Nate. And he would always go into the tattoo shop and he would always talk forever. Like he was one of those people that just talks and talks and talks. And then like you give him a little break and then you don't say anything and then he just starts talking again. He just keeps going. And we were tattooing super late at night and it's probably like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking to her, and she's like in a bunch of pain, and I'm trying to do the best I can, like working my way through it. And then Nate comes up and taps on the window, and she's like, "Thank God, yes, come in, come on, Nate." And she's like, "Pull up a chair right here and talk to me." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he just like starts talking away.
He made his day.
Yeah, and he stayed there till like 4 a.m. and just talked all night long.
Until like 6. And he went and got us breakfast.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was literally like
Good guy.
my
All
meal
right,
that
jumping
night.
in right here with the red. Are you ready? There you go. But yeah, it was so cool having him come in. I was just like, man, that was such a lifesaver at that point in time.
Oh yeah.
And now it seems like you're really good at talking when you're tattooing.
Yeah,
He's so good at it.
yeah.
It's like his comfort zone now.
Well, it's like I don't know, like a counseling session or a therapy session. Like we get into really good conversation sometimes.
I tell people sometimes too that like the tattoos are free. Like you're paying for a therapy session.
Exactly.
You get a free tattoo out of it. Seems like a good deal.
Well, and I feel like that's why we started like getting into like reading self-help books and stuff like that, was because we'd have so many people that would sit down in our chair and like we wouldn't be talking, but then they would just start talking.
Yeah.
And then like the more painful the tattoo got, then the more like deep they would go with their issues. And like,
That's so interesting.
yeah, when you don't know anything to help somebody, then you hear all these deep issues. It's like, man, maybe I should figure some more stuff out. And so then we started reading like self-help book and psychology books and stuff like that. And a lot of it was for our clients who were awesome people that were just going through rough stuff in their life at that time.
Just life stuff.
Yeah.
You know? But it sucks when you like feel helpless and you can't offer any advice or do anything for anybody.
You should get this close up, Litas, so you can see the poofy purple part here, which was the flower, and then kind of like this little
poofy
red part that we're going through here.
I was already on it, bro. You read my mind.
Nice.
We should have grabbed some derm. I was kicking myself for not grabbing some of that.
Yeah, that's
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, because then I feel less gross with the derm on for some reason.
Well, definitely.
Because it's like,
Compared to the greasy saran wrap.
when your plasma is just like full tilt for the first couple days.
Yeah.
So.
I was surprised how much pain it took away. Like when you put the derm on, like it would just help the pain so much.
I feel like it's the air. Or like
Is that what it
the
is?
lack of air on all your open nerves.
Yeah. I remember peeling it off a couple days later and I was like, whoa, now it hurts all of a sudden. Like, I'm gonna put that back.
Right?
You are a badass, baby.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Not even a
I'm
flinch.
impressed. Like you're like, oh, I'm not
Not a
going to talk
flinch.
at all, and then you're just like, I
Oh,
can
are you
talk.
tattooing?
This is no big deal. Whatever.
I feel like I have a higher pain tolerance during the day. Like usually when we're tattooing me, it's at night and I'm already like tired and I'm rallying to be there.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's easier to do it in the day and like, I'm easily distracted. So, no, it's not bad right now. I'm a little nervous for the elbow because I definitely make some weird ass faces.
And I've never understood why a tattoo
I think your
hurts.
O faces are great, though. I think
I'll just try doing that one.
people are gonna love seeing it. They're gonna be like,
That's not the face I make. That is not the face I make on my elbow.
oh yeah, okay.
I'll try channeling some.
There you go.
Some sexy faces.
Less
Yeah.
Some sexy O faces.
It's a trip that the elbow hurts so much because like you can pinch your elbow skin and like
So hard.
just, you know, and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
There's something about a tattoo needle in it just wings you.
I remember thinking that too. I'm like, oh, you can pinch my weenus as
Yeah,
hard as
the
you
weenus.
want. I am so tough. And then you actually get it tattooed and you're like, oh damn, that's actually pretty tender. It feels like it's going into the bone all the time when you're tattooing the actual elbow. And it's weird because like you're not. When I first started tattooing, there was a few times where I'd be tattooing the elbow though, and I would actually hit the bone. You're like going along and you feel like your machine, it's all gunk, and you're like, oh shit, and you got to check it, make sure your needles aren't bent.
Yeah.
And do your
And
people just
so-
about jump out of the chair when that
Yeah.
happens?
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, what was that? And you're like, Little deep there. Hold still.
You're in the bone.
Yeah, but you got to get it in deep enough, otherwise it just falls out because it's like elephant skin in that area. And so you definitely have to tattoo it more aggressively.
Well, and then I used to think I was doing somebody a favor by going lighter, but then you'd have to go over that spot like 4 or 5 times, and it's better just to get in, go hard.
First pass, yeah.
Yeah, first pass. Be done.
Yeah. You did awesome, man. Like in all the areas that I've tattooed you, it was the same as like tattooing Kelly. You're such a badass when it comes to getting tattooed. But I think it's like that mental part. Like you do have that ability to not fight it.
Yeah,
and if you can not fight it, I feel like you do so much better. All the people who don't fight it do way better. It's like the people who I think have the hardest time are normally people who have drug problems and stuff, or they're alcoholics or different things like that, where they're used to like escaping reality.
Oh yeah.
And so they don't have that strength to deal with things.
Yeah.
Anytime something happens, they're like, I gotta escape. And then they normally do it with like drugs or alcohol or something like that. And so a lot of the time those people have a really, really hard time getting tattooed because they can't escape. And they're not able to just surrender and deal with it. But there's something about just dealing with life that I feel like it makes you pretty tough overall.
It does.
Yeah, it'll put you through some shit.
Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of part of life, you know, pain and challenges and things. It's just part of life.
Yeah. But then I feel like if you're doing it right, then you spit out the other side and everything's better. Like, I think that's how you know if you're on the right track. It's like, oh, did you just go through a bunch of shit and now your life is way better? Or did you just go through a bunch of shit and now your life is exactly the same as it was?
Yeah. Yeah, no way. I got to take something good from all the things that happen.
Yeah. That's, I don't know.
Like, or at least make something good out of it. Like, look for the good in it. You know?
Totally. Yeah.
You know?
Make it good. Look for what's good. Make it good. Yeah. That's like one of my favorite, I don't know, the things about you though is like, you're definitely one of those people that is always pushing and like doing your, like with your cabins that you're building right now. Dude, going out, they're amazing, man. They're so far above and beyond. And like looking at what you did with them, you can totally tell that if you would have built them like most people build them, then you would have been able to get them done way faster. Definitely. And then you would have had money coming in. But it's like, that's just not you. You're just not one of those people that will ever do something and not make it amazing. Like you put...
I feel like there would have been something that wouldn't have been as good, right? Like you wouldn't have enjoyed the journey.
Exactly.
It would have just been all work.
Yeah. And that's, and granted, it's a lot of work, but doing my best and being proud of what I do makes me enjoy that journey. And it's my dad's fault, really. He taught me to be proud of what I do. And so I can't move forward with anything if I'm not really proud of what I'm doing and not giving it my best. And
I'm gonna have to come do like a faux painting tutorial. I just need to watch and find out how you're doing that because it was so cool.
Well, I would love to show you. It's actually really easy, but it took me a lot of practice. I spent some time.
A lot of practice.
Practicing. Like, nah, I don't like it. Cover it up. Start over. Do it again. But now I've got a technique that's pretty efficient and pretty awesome. So,
it looks so cool.
But yeah, I've had a lot of encouragement for people saying just keep it simple. Get your cabins up. Keep it simple. Get the money coming in.
Right.
But I would have took all the fun out of it.
Right.
I'm capable of better, so I have to do better.
Totally, and that's your name on everything. Like every time anybody looks at it or talks about your cabins, they have your name in their mouth, right?
Right.
So it's huge being able to, have it said the way you want it said.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy, man, because that's like what makes life awesome too. Is like if you just put everything you have into everything that you do, then everything that you do turns into something that's fun. And you can tell, looking at your cabins, you have, like, you can tell you were out there having fun doing it. You look at the backyard, even the landscaping, like when you went through and landscaped it, you can tell like every little part of it, you went above and beyond. And that's what made it great. And if more people did that shit, then the world would be so awesome.
It'd be amazing.
But there's so many that's good enough things out there.
You're
and
right.
like, I think
You're
that's
right.
the biggest enemy of great things.
Yeah.
Is like
Mediocrity.
things that are good enough. You're like, oh, it's good enough. And it's like,
It doesn't inspire anybody. That
yeah,
exactly.
good enough wouldn't have anybody coming out and checking out your properties like consistently and like that guy bringing out 15 or 20 different people. Like, like, you have to see this.
Yeah, I've got.
Like, if it was mediocre,
Yeah.
he'd come out and look at it once.
You go, that's nice, but he's proud to show it off. I make his material look really good, so even he's proud to show off, his material.
Totally.
And so.
and that's the dude that does the barnwood.
Yeah.
For
the guy.
your place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
actually,
he harvests and collects and provides barnwood, and he comes out to look at my stuff, and now he brings all of his clients to look at my stuff because he's like, why does yours look so good? He's like, it shouldn't even really look this good. Like, why does it look so good? And it's like, well, attention to detail. I really give it my best, and those little smallest details I pay attention to where a lot of other people don't.
do you want to start talking about why we picked Mike for the t-shirt?
Guys, you're a badass. You dope shit.
And we're starting
spot.
on the elbow here. Yeah. No, man, but the stuff that you do is so far above and beyond. And so the idea behind what we're doing with everything that's XX is seeking out people that are extraordinary people that go above and beyond. Because when you came to get tattooed, you were a builder and you built amazing houses and amazing cars, but you did such a good job at it that it made me want to do a better job with my tattoos. And so there's certain people where they put so much into what they're doing that it ends up being perceived as art, even though it's not in that cliche realm of art, people don't look at houses necessarily as being like art. And then a lot of people don't look at cars as being art. I think both of them are totally art. Absolutely. Tattoos, a lot of people look at tattoos and they're like, that's not art. And so I love that idea of like rebel art, but I just love the fact that when someone goes so far above and beyond, it ends up making it so it makes other people want to do good too. And so those are the kind of people that we're trying to seek out with XX and have them be able to tell their stories, just because if more people did that, then the world would be a better place. And you're definitely one of those people.
Oh, for sure. It was amazing to me for you guys to recognize that. I remember when you said it, I was kind of blown away because you've given me that very same thing. Just our conversations and the time that we've spent together. I mean, you've inspired me to level up and be, even better at everything I do. Everything from who I am and working on yourself, the self-help, and like it's just been so inspirational. And you guys have been like madly influential in my life, and you still are today. And so like, when you were inspired by what I do, it just gave me this whole new boost of energy to go forward and do it even harder. And so like I really love what you guys are doing because it's gonna, it's gonna push so many other people forward in their lives. And so thanks for that.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing. But yeah, everything I do, whether it's my cars, whether it's my homes, whatever, I've got to do the best I can. And I think for me, the unforeseen or the unintended consequence, I don't know quite how to say it, but when you really push hard to do the best you can at whatever you do, you learn more skills along the way. You learn things as you go, and you end up doing things even better than you ever thought you could. If you really put your effort into it and you keep practicing over and over, you just get better at what you do. And I think the reason that people appreciate what I do is I put my heart and soul in it, but I've put in so many thousands of hours doing what I do. And
yeah, you can tell.
And the payoff has just been remarkable. Like it's been amazing. So my favorite thing is when someone sees something that was just an idea in my head at one time, and then they're inspired by it. They're like, oh my God, this is what I would have done if I could have done it, or I want to do this because of what you just did. Like it gave me an idea, And so I love seeing people light up and then go do something and then coming back to me and being like, check this out. Like, it's really cool to inspire people that way. For the Suburban, for instance, I can think of 3 other ones that have been built because of mine. And
so cool.
same year.
Are they like kind of copies, like almost like clones of the one that you
pretty
built?
much, pretty much.
So yours was like the inspiration that made it so other people started building them?
Duramax diesels.
That's so cool.
Same year, same Suburban,
That's a huge
same engine.
compliment.
And they did their own little tweaks, their color, their wheels, tires, they did their things, but it made me feel really good to see people enjoying, wanting it so bad that they went and built their own, so.
I love that you
appreciating it
love
so
that.
much.
There's so many people that would look at that and be like, oh, somebody else built something and it's just like the one that I built. Like, that's some bullshit. But when you inspire other people to do stuff, that's how I feel like that's when you are an artist, right? Like,
Right.
artists inspire other people to create art.
Isn't that what it's about?
Yeah, that is being an artist for sure.
What is that? Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
I feel like knowing you and having somebody get to know you and seeing what you did, then it also makes that dream more tangible. Because you're super talented, but at the same time, like, it shows somebody that you can just go out and if you work really fucking hard at something, then you can have like something amazing to show for it.
Yeah.
And it's probably, like you said, it's different. It's not the same. It's not your Suburban exactly.
Right.
It's their version of it. But it's got to feel really good for somebody
It does.
to have that at the end of it for all the hard work that they put into it.
Yeah. No, I've even helped, given them advice and helped, however I could, I've helped them with their own Suburbans, They come to me and they're like, well, what'd you do here and what'd you do there? And I was happy to share, because this is just this idea. My next thing's going to be even more awesome. You can count on that. Like, it's going to be incredible. So.
Right. And everything is so much easier said than done, right? Like, you could be like, oh yeah, you can do this, this, and this, and this. But then somebody still has to go out and bust their ass to make it happen.
Exactly.
It's not like you're actually giving them like the whole secret formula.
Right.
It's like blood, sweat, and tears are required.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no easy way through through that situation. You're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
And that's hard enough. So,
Totally.
so if I can help someone achieve that, it feels good.
Totally. That's awesome.
it's amazing that you go out and help other people and that you're open to doing that. If somebody's reaching, and it's what everybody should do. Everybody should like try to do their best, and then eventually when you get to the point where other people start asking like, hey, how did you do this? Some people look at it and they're like, oh, you can't share your secrets. Like old school tattoo artists were that way all the time, where they'd be like, don't tell people how to tattoo. There's only so much work out there. And it's funny because back then, nobody fucking got tattooed. There was like such a small amount of people that got tattooed back then. But then finally, when some cool artists started getting into it and they started like actually sharing information, then it made it so more good artists got into it. And tattoos did level up. And those people might have gotten like less business overall because they weren't striving to do better.
Sure.
But I think that's the thing, is like you never fear other people doing what you're doing if you're always striving to do better, because the next one that you build or the next one that you create or the next thing that you do is going to be even more amazing than what you just did.
Yeah. And
so you're not trying to stay at the same level, so you're never afraid of someone else getting to that level. And then you realize that there's like so much synergy to everything too, where it's like people, if you share information, then you get better.
Exactly.
And so like you share information, but you do it because you had other people share information with you that was super helpful.
Absolutely. And then when you run into someone who you feel is better than you or further down that path, then that's just inspiring to me. Like, instead of being jealous of or talking down on them or being, trying to bring them down to my level, then I'm just super inspired and grateful for all the information and advice that's out there from people who have been working at this for longer than you have. And so.
Yeah, and you're constantly pushing it, man. Like that's what I love about it. Like every time I put on my shirt, every day, and there's not a lot of these shirts out there,
right?
And so it's cool, like having one of them. But then I know the meaning behind it. I know the whole story of like why it's created, and you're Suburban. I've gotten to like sit inside it, and so after seeing all that stuff, and after like knowing what you do and seeing what you do, it makes it so like if I'm having a shitty day and I put on your shirt, I'm like, I gotta go for it today.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking crush it. Like I'm wearing Mike's shirt today.
Yeah.
Like I gotta get after it. Like
awesome.
actually do something great. Like if I got bullshit in my head, I need to like push it aside and like actually go for it. And so it's cool because I think the right art for the right person too, like this shirt being made for you. It's funny because I made it like for you, but then I think it's like one of the most inspiring things that I have.
It blows my mind.
Just because of that.
I'm honored, to say the least. Like every time I wear it so proudly, and it just feels so good to have that acknowledgement and that respect for what I've done. And so, like I said, it's just amazing that you guys keep giving that back to people. Like I don't know, it's amazing.
It's cool too. Like yours was kind of the proof of concept for like, can we do this? Because it was like our business partner Colton was the one that was like, all right, Jake, I think like one of yours and Kelly's unique abilities is being able to design really awesome art for people. And then like when we tattoo, we only get to serve one person a day. And he's like, man, if you could do shirts and you could do shirts that like had the same kind of story behind it that your tattoos do, then you would be able to like get them out there to way more people. And he's like, and I think it would be really amazing. And I think people would like really, really like it. And so it's cool because then as soon as we started thinking about like, oh, who are we gonna do a shirt for? You were at the like top of my list. I'm like, well shit, if I get to do a shirt for anybody, it's like I want to do one for Mike because like all the stuff that he does is so awesome and it's so amazing. And now we get to start transitioning into doing some shirts for like other artists. And so we got to go interview Anthony Marfione, and then we did a podcast with him, which cool. I think that podcast is already out now on the Microtech channel. But then we're going to be going back through and doing like some clips of it, and then we get to design a shirt for him that's going to go out to his whole community. And so it's going to be really fun, but it's neat. I'm just so stoked that you ended up being the first person that we got to do a shirt for. It's like,
amazing. Yeah, I feel very, very, very privileged, very blessed. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's going to be neat, like watching kind of the progression of everything. So you're finishing building up your cabins.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing good, baby.
This
is like
really good.
This is like right on the tip of the elbow right now.
I feel it.
I forgot that you were getting tattooed.
Time to do the whole face thing and not be like, ah.
Yeah.
So are you doing a good job making sexy faces?
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you were gonna be practicing the sexy faces.
Nice. I'm so glad that you get to do this on camera.
Oh,
Yeah, you're brave.
Yeah.
Or stupid.
So it's kind of cool because when Kelly gets tattooed, she always does really, really amazing. She doesn't, like, some people move around and like slide around all over the place and moan and like have a really hard time with it. But yeah, Kelly always does incredible getting tattooed.
I've had a lot of practice.
Right?
Yeah. For everybody that doesn't know, it's pretty freaking obvious, but Kelly's face is on your shirt.
Yeah.
And so in this room right now, I think there's like 8 Kellys
Yeah, no, I was counting.
all around.
I'm like,
Because we got the poster on the wall that like each of us are wearing this shirt. Yeah. And so the whole idea behind your shirt is, well, and it's kind of cool because like you've got to like wear it and stuff like that. But the idea behind it was like, it was supposed to be this thing where people look at it and they're just like, oh, that's cool. It's like some chick with horns. But then they look at it and they're like, wait, she's holding a car key.
Yeah.
And so like the car key is supposed to be for like a vehicle, which kind of like symbolizes the key to your Suburban, which is, and it's a 69.
A 61.
61.
Yeah.
And then you ended up going and you took a 61 Suburban body and frame, and then you put that on a, what year Duramax?
That one was a 2006.
A 2006 Duramax?
Yeah. So that one, so everything, the frame, the running gear, the engine, suspension, all the guts, computers, everything from the 2006 Duramax is threaded through the 61 body. And so my idea was to basically just exchange the sheet metal and have a still, at that time, you know, almost a brand new truck disguised as a 1961 Suburban. So all your cruise control, intermittent wipers, tilt wheel, power steering, power brakes, all that stuff is there and present.
That's so badass.
And I remember when I first started it, one of the things that pushed me to do it was a few people that thought it was too big of a task to pull off. They're like, I don't know if you can pull it off and make it cool. Like, you can probably do it, but I don't know. Maybe you should do something else. And I really wanted it, and so I'm like, that was the fuel that pushed me to do it. Was the doubt. Was the first thing.
They said that you couldn't do it,
yeah,
and you're like, all right, I'm gonna prove to you
okay,
I can do this.
Watch this. yeah, and I did it with, you know, with a bit of fun though. It wasn't a negative like, watch this, you know. It was just fun. It was like, well, I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna push myself here, and see what I can do. And like I said, I've done it. This is number 2. The one that you see. This is number 2. I've done this once before, and back in 2008. I did exactly something very, very similar. Same color, same chassis, same body. And 2008, and the financial crisis in 2008 came, and I was kind of forced to sell it at that time. And again, always looking for that thing, like, what good is going to come out of this? What good?
Yeah.
What's the next? How can I make this into something good? And so then I had the opportunity to do it again. And version 2.0 definitely trumped the first one. You know, I learned a lot, and the second one came out even better. So, and it just wasn't right. I wasn't right. I'm like, I got a little hole in my heart. I mean, I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and myself into that first one, and I wasn't right until I recreated it. So.
That's so rad that this is number 2, and all the little things that you did are so cool, which is why we did this shirt for you for that truck. Yeah. And then it's got like all the little, like it says, 5-inch exhaust, rolling coal, big turbos. What else do we have going up?
Yeah, lots of torque.
Yeah, shit tons of torque.
Yeah. And that's my favorite thing about the diesel.
And that's all diesel engine stuff.
Yeah,
and so that's why
no,
those
it's so
words
cool
are
that you
there.
did all that. I mean, it's just kind of the foundation of what makes diesel trucks awesome.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's cool, man, because your truck inspired these shirts, and then like we tried to do these shirts the same way, where they're made of really, really nice material, and we went above and beyond with the printing and have like 12-ounce collective doing our printing, and they're fucking amazing. The printing that they do is like some of the best in the world. But then the design, it has like all these little things, like your windshield wipers in your truck, where you had to like install the motors backwards.
Yeah, no, I had to cut out a whole part of the firewall and flip it and install the motor backwards, and I had to do a whole bunch of geometric weird shit to make that thing work the way it does.
And it was literally like what it was to make the windshield wipers not go, because on the old ones they go like this, right?
Yeah, they go like this, and I wanted that
and
to remain.
you wanted them to do that. You didn't want them to go like this, so you had to
Exactly.
put in like how many days of work just to have that?
I don't know. It was several, at least, maybe a week. I bet it was a week of my time, you know, just because it wasn't like I could just go to work and just like do it. It was a lot of head scratching and trying and retrying, and oh, that's rubbing and this isn't working, and starting over. So
Jump over here now.
So, but it was well worth it in the end, because now I can hit my intermittent wipers like you can in a new truck, and you know, the rain delay and stuff, and the old school wipers do what they're supposed to do.
That's
you know,
so awesome.
So yeah, that was one of those details, and I just can't overlook details. If I would overlook something like that and let it slide, I can't sleep at night. Like, it ruins the project for me. Like, if I let one detail slide, I just can't do it. You know, it's got to be done right, or I just can't do it.
Oh, that's good right there.
Good spot.
You like that?
Spicy.
But that's huge, man. Like it's neat, because that is like what made these shirts what they are. And then all of our shirts, like all of our clothes that we're trying to design, we're doing it in the same vein, where we want everything to be insanely awesome, and we want to look at all the little aspects of everything and make it so it's above and beyond. Because we've always tried to do that with our tattoos, and then now we're doing clothes, and we want it to be the exact same way with the clothes. But the stuff that you do has like inspired us to do that. And so the whole idea with the clothing line is to kind of try and make it the same way, where if we make a shirt then hopefully it'll be like the same as you making your truck, where it inspired me to do more awesome stuff with my own life. And then if we make a pair of underwear, like that'd be so cool. Like having underwear where like you put on your underwear and you're like, all right, I want to kill it today. Because like I think tattoos are that way, right?
Yeah.
Like if a tattoo has the right meaning behind it, then when you're standing there naked and you're looking at yourself in the mirror in the morning, you might like have stuff going through your head, and then you look at your tattoos and you're like, no, that means this.
Exactly.
Like that's the bar. Like that's what I have to try and achieve today. Do you have days
Yes,
like that?
absolutely.
Like,
I do. No, absolutely. Especially when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning and I'm looking in the mirror and I see myself standing there, and I look at all the meaning and depth and reasons behind all my tattoos. It does. It grounds me and reminds me who I am and where I'm at and what I'm doing, and centers me for sure. Very often, actually.
that's rad. It's funny because that's, yeah, your shirt, it does the same thing to me. And my tattoos do the same thing too. But like, I don't have any other pieces of clothing that are like that. And it's just a bummer. Like, I feel like anything that people do where they put everything that they have into it can achieve that.
Yeah.
But like, how many things in your life really do that? Where it's like, you see that thing that you have and it inspires you to like go above and beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, there's very few.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Good stuff.
This is like right
That
over,
little fucking bone that's right next to your
I
elbow.
kinda get
This
wanna
little.
see.
is worse.
tiny
So this
bit.
is, yeah, it's right on the funny bone right now.
Yeah, it's this little fucker.
Yes.
I hate
That's
it.
actually
Yes,
where
that
he
little-
was getting tattooed on the other side, where he's got his gnarly scar.
Yeah.
And so he's got, where he went through a windshield,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's got a big old scar right there.
And that's one of the other things about my life. It's been actually, I would never want to live it again, but man, after I made it through that ugly wreck, it just, every day after is a bonus round.
Yeah.
So, at least getting the bonus round.
You're doing great.
Not anymore.
We're gonna go.
Dying, burning up.
Are you sweating yet?
There's not that much more of this spot.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Remember? Surrender.
Yep, that's what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
You're just surrendering and breathing. Wait, what was it that the girl said? The not making the face? What was?
Surrendering
No, the
and
Japanese
swearing.
Yeah.
surrender and swear.
Yeah.
That's the
That's what I'm
Kelly
doing.
Kelly Burleson technique right there. All right.
I'm supposed to like not make any pain faces. That's
No pain
no
faces.
pain faces.
So we'll just go back and edit the pain faces out, and then we'll go right into like you looking very cool
Collective.
and
Yeah,
calm
just
and
edit all this
collected
out.
through this part. This is not getting edited out.
Gotta try a little bit.
Okay. No, I'm better. I'm better. I feel like you're like, are you doing close-ups? Like, oh yeah.
The agony.
Yeah, get right in there on her face. Just like biting her lip.
Well, I actually was, but then I was like, wait, if we're trying to like make it so she's not like, maybe we're trying to be like perfect, beautiful lip, just like, oh fuck, you know.
Beauty is pain.
It is.
Okay, I think that part kind of like chilled out a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah,
So now you're
Did you
back
get through
into
it?
it.
I think so. We'll see. Sorry, what did I interrupt?
So we're gonna talk about your video that you had us post with Mike in it.
Okay, so I forget whose idea it was to do this awesome gym shoot and have some girls in our leggings working out, and then having like a guy walk by and be like, "Oh damn," and check them out, and then that was the video, right? Well, Mike ended up being the guy that was
I
like,
volunteered.
checking people out, and I checked the video out, and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was super funny, and thought it would do really well. Well, we posted it online, and people were
Appalled.
That's about right.
Okay, so I think I was one of the first ones that looked at it, and I was like, what the fuck is, because like in theory what we were going for was like girls walking through the gym, our leggings make girls' butts look awesome, and so like that's what we wanted to show off, like our leggings make your butt look better than they do in other leggings, and you're probably going to catch some stares, and so like don't wear them unless you're comfortable with that. We didn't want to go into like the crazy realm of it, we just kind of wanted a little bit of that where it was like, oh look, and so what we were thinking was like girl walking by, guy sees the butt and he's like, oh. And like that was the shot. How it got edited was like walking, and then it was like, oh, and then it was like, oh, and then it's like, like afterwards. And so then when I saw the video, I'm like, this is too much because it's not you. Like you're the nicest, like most sweet fucking person that I know.
PC.
It was, yeah, like you would never ever do something like that. And so then I go run into Kelly because it had just gotten posted, and I'm like, baby, did you see this? And she's like, yeah, I saw it. It's hilarious. And I'm like, we got to take it down. And she's like, I think you should leave it up. I think it's hilarious. Yeah. And then watching the storm of people that were just like, you can't do this. These guys make me sick. This guy is horrible. Like, if we could go take it back, we would definitely take that part back just because it was you. It was... I felt bad about that one.
And I'm a horrible actor. I'm not a good actor, so I overacted that part definitely for sure. I was embarrassed to say the least. But it was funny though. That's what was. It was funny though. Honestly,
totally. You know, it was all just supposed to be in good humor.
Yeah.
And I feel like
some people didn't. Some people didn't take it that way.
Well, I feel like there's so many people who aren't going to say anything unless they're offended.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to go out of their way to compliment somebody or say something positive. The only time they're going to open their mouth is when they're trolling.
Yeah.
Which, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, we brought out a couple trolls, apparently.
There was, and then it was funny too, because Kelly, the girl that was the model in the video that had her butt stared at, she jumped on and like started defending us. And then her husband, who is a super cool guy, his name's John, like he jumped in and started defending us too.
Yeah, that was super cool.
We're just like, oh man.
That's what made it okay for me. I'm like, no one's offended. You know, the people that really mattered.
The people that actually
knew what was happening
weren't offended.
Yeah. Who were there, who were a part of it, like, exactly.
But yeah, just to set the record straight, so everyone
Thank you.
in the world out there knows, Mike is actually...
I'm not a creeper.
Awesome.
He's not a creeper. He's a really nice person. And we like him so much that we decided to do our very first shirt for him because he's such an awesome dude.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, sorry about that one.
Thanks for helping me out with that.
Yeah. Definitely don't want to be known as that creepy guy.
I will think
video.
twice the next time someone asks me to for a shot like that.
Right?
Stare at her butt.
We're like,
you noticed.
Make sure I see this before you post it.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll let you watch this.
Yeah.
You can totally see all of this before we post it. We'll be like, all right, we're definitely.
Do a vibe check, make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember the first time I seen that. I know my cheeks went straight bright red, and I was like, "Oh my god, really?"
Was that a ding? Like, were you trying to ding the timer? You just accidentally kicked the chair super hard. Okay, I was like, oh shit, that must be the bell. Like that's an audible one that like I would actually know. I think maybe you should do that intentionally next time when it's getting close to it. When there's a little break in there, and then we'll be like, oh, okay, time to tone it down.
Yeah, 15 more minutes and then we'll do the thing.
Okay.
A little early.
How's that elbow going?
It is almost done. We have just another tiny little section to do here. And then it'll be completed.
It's good news. Little tiny section.
Yeah,
we're almost through it.
So in the wrapping stuff up, man, is there anything that you want to? Well, I think you kind of understand. It'd be kind of cool if you said something too about XX and about what XX is, because I don't think a lot of people understand it. And you've kind of got to be like on the outside of it and watch it go from like naughty to XX, and it's still the same thing where we're trying to inspire people. We're not doing the body tape anymore because no one understood what the body tape was all about. Sure. But all the other principles are still there. And then it's the whole like chasing your dreams and going after it. But what do you want to say about XX to people out there?
Oh. I think it's the best intention that I've seen anyone put forward, maybe ever or for a long time. Like, I think what you're trying to do for people and acknowledging these rebel artists, as we've said, unconventional artists, shining the light on these people who are out there just grinding and doing their thing every day and not expecting any acknowledgement or accolades for what they're doing. They're just doing what they do, but they really are putting all they have into it. And so for XX to shine the light on these people, it's just synergistic and creating positive energy and positive momentum in the world. I just think it's amazing. And if more people would do that type of thing and work at their highest and best level, I just think the world would be such a better place. And I think this is starting to gain momentum and traction, and I'm just really excited to see where it goes. What it's put into my heart, like what it's literally given me and tangible results in my life, is just incredible. Just the acknowledgement and attention that I've gotten for the things I've done inspires me every day to go that much harder. And I've watched it ripple into the people around me. I could name quite a handful of people that feel that positive energy come from me because of what XX has done for me. And I think that a ripple effect is extremely powerful. And so your guys' idea, I felt it from the moment you mentioned it to me. I felt that this was something amazing, and it's turning out to be something amazing, and I'm really glad to see it be a reality, and that it's affecting so many people, not just me. So pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
So I got to give you guys credit for being absolutely awesome and amazing. So you inspire a lot of people, and yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. And that's definitely like what we're trying to do. And I think it's really neat seeing that too, because we have some people, like, we intentionally did it so we could share your story with other people and inspire other people to do kind of the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's super cool seeing the people that we actually do the interviews with and seeing the stuff that we're doing like inspire you guys too, because you were already kicking ass. You're already out there like being awesome, but then it's like, then you're like, I gotta be even more awesome. And so
that's what it does.
Seeing the extra stuff that you've done since we started doing this and the amount of above and beyond that you've done since we had you be a featured artist and had you did a t-shirt for you is incredible. And it's like super, super noticeable. And it was kind of an unexpected thing. Like I didn't anticipate that portion of it. And so seeing that part of it makes me super, super happy to see that like the clothes do inspire people that are buying the clothes and wearing them. But then actually it's the people that already inspired us in the first place, then it's inspiring them to do even more. And so there is a synergy there. Like synergy is two people coming together and then ending up creating something that's even more amazing than they could have done apart.
Absolutely.
And I think anytime two people come together, if it's done right, then they'll achieve that. They'll achieve something that's more amazing than they could have done together. And there's always those little things in the end where it's like, I didn't see that coming. Totally. I had no idea that was gonna happen. And then it does. You're ah, shit, it happened. And like, I didn't see that coming, but it's so cool. And those little byproducts are awesome. And it's what makes you want to keep going. And so thanks so much for doing the extra above and beyond that I didn't imagine, because that was like a whole byproduct of it that I didn't anticipate at all.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things is those, those surprises along the way.
We're almost done, baby. We have just this last little bit.
I could be here all day. I'm good. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, we have this like last little part. Okay, so in wrapping it up, man, is there anything that you want to say to people in general out there? Is there anything that you want to say to people about following their dreams or going after their passion or trying to trying to live a life that's a little bit more extraordinary.
Definitely. Life is hard. You know, life can be hard, and a lot of people struggle with all kinds of setbacks and problems and things in their life. But you got to be able to get yourself into a happy place. You got to be able to get into that positive momentum and be grateful. I think being grateful for your life and where you're at in your life, no matter where you're at in your life or what challenges you're facing, I think practicing being grateful is one of the most important things a person can do. And with that, that's what I do on a regular basis. I practice being grateful, and then push yourself, push your boundaries, push your limits. You know, and engage in or embrace that thing that you're not 100% sure that you can even do. Tackle it, just do it, and commit, and don't give up, and just follow through, and amazing things happen. You got way too many thoughts here. Yeah.
It's good. And like this podcast is actually going to be one that people can view when they click on the QR code. So this cool. Podcast people will be able to see when they click on the QR code of the shirt.
Okay.
And so everything that you're saying is stuff that people will see that end up buying your shirt. And it's kind of cool because your shirt, I feel like, is going to be one that picks up momentum where like once XX takes off and people start to see like, oh, whoa, this brand's really cool. They'll like realize each shirt was a limited run. Yeah. And then they'll be like, what were the first shirts? And it'll be like, oh, those were the Diesel Queen shirts. And it'll be like, oh, can I get one? And we'll be like, probably not, right? Unless you can find it from a reseller. Yeah. So. And so it'll be like a super collectible thing, but then it'll always have that where people who have the t-shirt will be able to click on it and actually see the podcast and hear what you have to say. And so all those things I think are super, super huge. And in the whole realm of like being grateful, I think that's like one of the best pieces of advice that you can give anybody, because when you start going after your dreams and you start trying to pursue anything, it gets like hard and challenging.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have like shit that you run into that you didn't see coming, and then you end up having to put in more time and you're like, man, should I really be doing this? And it's just crazy because if you do what you're saying and you take a step back and you decide to be grateful for what you have and what you're doing, like you might not be where you want to be.
Exactly.
But like you can always be grateful for wherever you're at. And I think that's the key to being happier along the way. The more gratitude you have for what you do have and the ability that you do have and everything that you do have in your life, then it makes it so you're happier on that journey. And it's like going after your dreams and chasing your dreams and achieving really, really cool things, building awesome trucks is rad. But if you're miserable while you're doing it, then it's not worth it. And so like that be grateful piece of advice, I think is like one of the best pieces of advice that you can give people just for that reason. And it's cool because like you can be grateful for skills, you can be grateful for what you have, you can be grateful for people in your life. It's
There's always
like
something.
all of it.
We're here, we woke up and we're breathing.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and then when you get an idea too, it's like when you have an idea in your head, you know, if you like it, if you really appreciate it and you come up with an idea, don't let people talk you out of it. You know, do what you want to do. Don't conform. Do what's awesome to you. And that's what I've always done with my building and my houses and everything. I don't conform to what other people like. You know, I do what I think is awesome. And if I put my heart and soul and follow that intention all the way through, it's never steered me wrong. You know, people generally appreciate unique individual things. You know, I'm not trying to be in that cookie cutter world. You know, it's got to be individual and unique, you know, for me to enjoy it. And so far it's worked out really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's huge.
And then, and like you were saying, as far as being grateful and along that journey, when you're happy, when you're optimistic, when you're feeling good, it gives you energy. You know, it gives you energy to strive and push harder. You know, when you're feeling good, that's what gives us our energy. I mean, if you're miserable and constantly thinking negative things and doubting yourself and listening to the naysayers and stuff, it brings you down, and it just kind of dampens your energy and your momentum. And so, I think just really intentionally looking inward at yourself and letting go of the things that hold you back and hold you down, and you just got to let go of that stuff. You know, so many people get caught up in looking backwards or looking at the past, or you know, they look at their failures and then they're too scared to try something new. And so every day is a new day, and
Totally.
yeah.
Well, and I feel like so many people get in their own way so much that they might use that as an excuse, like, or think that maybe you had more of an upper hand on life, or had more things given to you, or
That's a good point.
you know, like, oh, I bet it's easy to do all those things if you have like this and this in place, or if you started out with a bunch of money.
You're so right.
And it's like, no.
No.
It's like all of that and all your success and everything that you have now is a byproduct from you being unique and you doing what you want to do and not getting in your way and
Yeah.
being positive
And just and hard work, you know, just staying focused and working hard. And that's one of the things actually I really enjoy when I meet people and they come see my homes or my vehicles or whatever. I didn't even go to school for any of this. I've never been to school to restore a car or paint a car or build a house. I've never been to school for anything.
You're not
I mean, I graduated high school and then I went to a real estate, you know, like school, but that was it. Yeah, I've never been professionally trained in any of this.
That's amazing.
And what you build is like some of the most phenomenal stuff in the world. So it goes to show.
Didn't start with a lot of money, you know. Started with very, very little to nothing, but an idea and a few hand tools and some motivation and drive to make something.
Totally.
And I couldn't afford all the you know, big fancy things when I was growing up, so I had to make it myself. But I found a lot of pleasure and enjoyment in that, you know, a lot of pride in that, you know, and so yeah, well, like you were saying, when people are like, oh, well, if you had this or you had that, or you know, all these things, it might be easy. But no, I came from very little, and I'm, you know, very proud of what I've created from that. Totally. And so anybody can do it. All you got to have is an idea and some determination, and you can do amazing things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And watching you do it, like, is proof. And I think that's huge for people. I think being able to see that you can do it, and like seeing other people doing it inspires people. And so it's like, that's why we got to put it out there. That's
exactly.
why we're like super happy to have you on here. Well, that is all done. We got it all wrapped up. Your whole inner arm is all finished there. Nice. We got elbow. Yeah, we still got inner arm to do next time, so that'll be good. But you did awesome. I'm super proud of you. Good job.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being on, man, and sharing your wisdom with people.
Good job.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching and supporting EXEX. We really appreciate all of you. And we're excited to share more awesome people like Mike with you and make more cool clothes like these ones for you.
Yes.
Right on.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job, guys.